Alright guys, I think it's been long awaited and very much requested for part 2. I'm sorry that it came out this morning, it's just I was a bit excited finding out that, well, the last video reached 1.7 thousand within the 3 days it's been up, and I thank you for all your due support. Just to answer a few questions I get in the comments, Pokemon part 2 will be out later today, for me because it's like 10:30 in the morning, so I'll be doing it later because I found out I have a free schedule. And for one of my dedicated subscribers who keep commenting in the down below, Senku will be out after I post this video and the Pokemon Part 2. And I really want the Part 2 to come out because I love doing that series as well as doing the Hisoka and Inumaki. So thank you for your continued support, and thanks for helping me reach yesterday reaching over 600 subscribers. So yeah, I think we all know what we want. Let's get into it. So, we left off where Izuku had just had just came out of school after he found out in the past his quirk was directly tied to what he says, and it has a bit of a downside that he can't turn it off. However, over the years, he's learned that he can speak only in rice ball fillings, as he just found that quite strange, but he went with it because it was the only way he could communicate with people. One of the best people who could understand him was Bakugo, his closest friend, as he had a powerful quirk. It's just no one understood him and even called him a villain because of what happened. However, as we started the story, Izuku had left school to try and go home before Bakugo and him met up at his place. Then the sludge villain attacked. Izuku easily took it down with a few words, as he was so All Might, and even confused him a bit with how he talks. Bakugo was just egging him on that he didn't get an autograph for him. And that is the recap of the story. So, we start off with the 10-month training. Izuku was very hesitant about doing his training out in public, but Bakugo suggested, "Hey nerd, come on, I found a good place we can train. It's not too far from here, and it actually allows us to use our quirks." As Izuku just says, "Salmon? Tuna mayo." Yeah, I know. Well, it's right. It's called Dagobah Beach. Place has been trashed up for years, and the councillors will stop giving a damn about it because, it was so dirty that they couldn't just. And with all the hero and villain incidences that happened, they kind of let it fall to the wayside. However, I reckon if we put a request out to the council, we should easily be able to use our quirks. As Izuku's just thinking about this and just nods his head and says, "Salmon, salmon." Alright, it looks like you're excited about it as well. I'll be training with you too, so let's both get stronger. As the two pushed by into the council, saying, Bakugo doing all the talking, saying, "We would like to request being able to clean up Deku Beach. Are you looking for a reward by any chance?" Well, the only thing we're looking for out of this is to be able to use our quirks while doing it. See, we are about to go into an entrance exam for the UA Academy. So we want to be able to train while also using this as an opportunity to help clean up our local beach. Well, look at you two young boys, doing what other people can't. Well, by the sounds of it, you two will be great heroes. So, I'll give you access. However, we will assign a pro hero to you to keep watch over. As then, the two were very excited, and Ezekiel was just going, "Salmon, salmon, salmon!" Yes, we did get it. We did get it. Yes. As, well, over the next 10 months, they were training. Izuku was learning to use words, well, being able to use longer words, because he found that there was a side effect to overusing his power. It strains his voice. Just being able to say 10 or so words would be enough for it to start silencing itself. So he's learned to try and always keep some cough medicine around with him. And it also helps extend the amount of the longer, well, the amount of words you can use and how long they are. Bucko was learning to use his voice in other ways besides just flying and launching explosions. When Izuku just says, salmon, bonito flakes, tuna mayo, and he goes, tuna. He says, well, look at what? As Izuku just pulls down the cloth covering his face and just says, scatter. As a huge pile, well, as a huge pile of debris and rubbish just ruptured out and scattered apart, blowing up in the process. As Izuku just points to it and just says, tuna, tuna, salmon. So try doing that with my quirk, huh? As, well, Izuku just goes, tuna, tuna, and points at his hand. So you want me to focus the blast using my hands? As Izuku just nods. Not such a bad idea. Looks like we're both getting some help out of this. However, I suggest that you try not to use your words offensively, but more defensively as well. Your offensive power is through the roof, as well as your ability to control people. However, that does leave you susceptible, if you're not ready to act defensively, if you're left wide open. As he says, why don't I try using an explosion at you, and you try and think of a few words like block it. As Izuku just nods and goes, salmon. Alright, I'll stand back a bit. I'll launch an explosion at you, but just be ready for it. As they both get into a stance, ready for a fight, as Bakugo just puts both of his hands together and is like, alright then, now! And launches a fire explosion towards Deku he caught in the moment, he pulls down his mask again and just goes, stop. As the explosion was actually frozen in midair, in mid-reaction. As Bucko was just shocked and was like, so it isn't just used for stopping people. See, look. As it looked like Izuku was being strained by this, as he just says, disperse. As, well, the frozen explosion started to have its fiery chain reaction release again before it gets dissipated into into a flurry of smoke. As, well, Izuku just starts coughing. Bonito flakes. Summoner. Yeah, I got your cough medicine here. Zuko just takes a sip of it and just says, salmon, bonito flakes, tuna. Yeah, well, I guess trying to stop something other than a person is a lot harder than it looks. Yeah, well, maybe she use it as a last resort. As, well, they both just look at each other, and over the next few months after doing this, they managed to clean up the beach. Very, very quickly, I might add. Within only 3 months, the hero that was watching over them was just quite impressed. These boys have such strong wills, and very high potential. He was honestly just shocked at how strong the kids are nowadays. And as he goes back to report to the council. Well, sir, I don't know what to tell you. I don't need to watch over them anymore. But they're using their quirks, so they should be kept an eye on, just in case anything happens. I don't think you need to worry about that anymore. They've already cleaned up the beach, so I can't wash them anymore. If they cleaned up the beach, that means they've done what they said they were going to do. And it says, I know it must be boring, but you don't have to try and lie. We can assign another hero. No, so it hasn't been boring. Not at all. In fact, it was quite fun watching them. It was quite, well, it was quite, shocking to say that they've cleaned it up in 3 weeks, well, in 3 months. As it shows them a picture of well, the beach now cleaned up. It says, what the? But we only just assigned it to them. It took so long. As, well, he says, I know, that's why I said I couldn't believe it. Well, thank you for looking over them, and we'll have to give them our thanks as well. That beach is now, well, as prosperous and beautiful as it's ever been before. Well, these kids nowadays are sure something. As we now come up to the entrance exam, and the two friends bump fists as they see each other in the mornings, like, "Hey nerd, let's do our best, okay?" As well, Izuku nods his head and salmon. All right, now let's see what we've got in front of us. As the two are walking, they see Izuku sees a girl trip over as he pulls down his hood and says, "Stop," as she freezes in mid-place, saying, "What the? I didn't activate my quirk. What's this?" As, Izuku grabs her by the shoulders and puts her back on her feet, and, releases the stop command. And he just says, "Salmon, salmon? Kelp?" As, as she goes, "What? What the?" Don't mind my friend, he just can't speak properly. Well, he can. It just it causes destruction in its wake, though. That's Izuku Midoriya. He's trying to say hello and are you okay? As he also says, kombu kombu Izuku Midoriya. He says his name is Izuku Midoriya, and he's sorry that he used his quirk on you. As the girl just says, "No, it's quite all right. Sorry, it probably was a bit annoying to do that." Uh, well, as he just flashes her a smile and says, "Well," and with a big grin, then walks off and says, "Well, so what do you mean by he can't speak properly?" Bucko just replies, "Well, he can speak. Well, normally, he can speak Japanese and English quite fine. However, when he does so, anything he says turns into reality. But can't he turn the quirk off?" Well, you might have saw when he flashed that smile, those circles around his mouth. Yeah, that's basically the thing that causes his quirk to become reality. It's sort of like a frequency that arranges matter into whatever he says. So the short answer is no. He cannot turn it off. He's lived quite a hard life because of it. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I have to go meet him before something ever happens. There's always a mix-up and people still get freaked out by what he says. Anyway, yeah. Good luck in the entrance exam. As he runs up to Midori and says, "Come on, you couldn't leave me, but you left me behind." As Izuku just chuckles, "Salmon, salmon, bonito flakes." You're not sorry at all. You just found it hilarious. Salmon, salmon. You're a smart ass. As the two walk in and get ready for get briefed about the exams that they're going to be taking. President Mike is saying that the theory exam takes place like any other high school, with a few hero-based questions as well in the mix thrown in to, well, spice things up a bit, as well as being, well, as well as the practical exam was being explained as well. A blue-haired boy was, well, blue-haired boy was causing a ruckus trying to say, "Excuse me, sir, you said there was 3 robots that were worth points, but why is there 4 on my sheet? In fact, there's 4 on everybody's sheet. Are you mishandling information to confuse us?" As, well, Izuku, a bit annoyed by them speaking out so frivolously, just says, "Sit." As the blue-haired boy shoots back down into his seat, not being able to get back up. He says, "What the?" As, well, to answer your question, young man, and thanks for sitting back down, there are 4 robots, yes, but only 3 of them are worth points, however. The 4th one is there to distract you. That is the 0-point robot. So please, if you do see it, just avoid it because it's there for a distraction and distraction only. Well, as the boy goes, "Alright then." Then we go to the theory portion of the exam as Bakugo and, well, Izuku aren't in the same, well, aren't in the same area. As, well, Bakugo just says, "Well, looks like we're in different examination halls and different test fields, probably to stop friends from teaming up." As he says, "Well, good luck." As, well, Izuku just flashes him a smile, nods, and says, "Salmon, salmon." "Yeah, I will, you nerd." As, well, everybody is just walking along, and they sit down and take their seats. Izuku was sat down, looked at the test, and just says, "Solve," as it puts down all the information he knew onto the sheet in an instant. Then, as the examiner is just saying, "Alright, now once you're finished after the hour and a half, well, sorry, 2-hour test. I've been informed we give an extension because this year's was longer. This 2-hour test, you shall hand it back up to me with your name written on top. Then we'll give you a score." As then, Izuku just walks up and says, "Why, is there a problem with your test or something?" As he just hands him off a sheet saying, well, a sheet completed already. What the hell? Did somebody give you the wrong sheet? Did they give you a cheat sheet? Are you cheating? He just shakes his head and says, "Salmon, salmon, salmon, kombu thing." As the teacher's just dumbfounded by what he's trying to say, as he just gets fed up and just whips out his phone and starts typing frantically at the keys. As then he pushes the button to say, "Hello, my name is Suzuki Midoriya. I can't speak properly as due to my quirk. If you look up in my file, you see that I can't speak properly because of it. Whatever I say becomes reality, yada yada yada. No, but I used my quirk to solve the test straight away. So you cheated." As he just types, "No, I solved it." As he says, "Then explain how you solved it using your quirk." "I don't have a super intelligence quirk," as it keeps playing out loud. Then he types again, I I use the word solve and it takes the information from my brain and puts it on the paper, using whatever is in my hand as the catalyst. So, I just skip the process of having to write everything down and think. Instead of working my brain to overload, he keeps typing furiously as he's trying to keep up. Instead of working my brain to the limit and confusing myself trying to do questions, if I know the answer to it, instead of having to work it out by myself, my brain automatically does it. That's how I use my quirk. Alright then. Well, I'll have the DA explain, well, look at it over and make sure that everything's alright, but this is quite unusual. We're not even a minute, well, we're just now past a minute in and you've already completed the test. Well, Izuki puts his phone away and just nods and says, as the examiner just says, well, that room over there is meant to be for anybody who's finished, so just sit in there for a while, I don't know, use your phone or something, or get yourself something to eat. Oh, okay. As Izuki just nods and then walks out of the room. People were just shocked. Not even a minute in, and the test is already solved. What is he? People could barely hear the phone as, well, speaking is a lot more clearer to understand rather than a text-to-speech bot. And Izuku was just, well, his stomach growled a bit, and he just looked around, and saw a vending machine. As he taps the numbers, and he starts eating a rice ball. With his favorite filling, spicy tuna mayo. As, well, he just has a look of glee on his face. And then he's just sitting there, and one of those teachers that happened to walk past and says, "Are you lost, young man?" As he pulls out his phone and starts typing, says, "I finished the test." And the teacher just looks at it, well, looks at the time on Izuku's phone and says, "No, but seriously, tell me why if you're lost. I can show you around." "No, I finished the test already. The examiner told me to wait out here." It says, "And who's your examiner?" As Zuko just types out on his phone again and plays a message. It was Mr. So-and-so. Didn't want to make up a name, sorry. He told me to wait out here. It says, "Alright then, I'll go have a word with him, just make sure you're not lying." As, well, the teacher comes back out and says, "Oh, I'm sorry for saying that you were lying. No, you did actually complete the test. Anyway, why don't, yeah, I'm sorry for disturbing you. I'll be on my way then." As the 2 hours pass later and everybody's going back out looking exhausted and a bit almost pale from all the knowledge that they squeezed out of their brain. "Why is that test so hard?" some of them were saying. As especially a boy with a lightning bolt in his hair, with bright yellow hair and a lightning bolt pattern indented into it. Well, embedded into it. It says, "Hey, you're that kid that solved it in like a minute. You're like a super genius or something?" It says, "No," as Izuku just types, "No, I'm not a super genius. I just typed it. I just used my quirk to automatically fill the paper out." "So you cheated? Come on. Why can't I have that kind of power instead of electricity that shorts my brain out and makes me dumber?" As he just says, "I didn't cheat. I had to keep explaining this." Keeps keeps typing away furiously. As come on, Aaron. Well, the blinding head boy just keeps saying, "Well, why don't you just speak? Why do you are you shy or something?" Says, "No, I just don't want to accidentally kill someone without realizing." Says, "What do you mean kill somebody? What? Are you gonna murder somebody's confidence? Is that what you mean? A sharp tongue?" She says, "No, whatever I say becomes reality." Yeah, and I'm a Pikachu." Then as Izuku just sighs, and looks up and says, "Darkness." As all the light out of the room, just gets sucked out. As everybody's just going, "What the hell?" As Izuku just removes the effect of his speech. As he pulls out his phone again, and after everybody's like, "What happened? A power outage or a solar eclipse?" Kaminari's just like, was that you? Yes, I said darkness, didn't I? Whatever I say becomes reality. I can aim it at objects, but it's usually whatever in my vicinity. Whatever I see. So, yeah, I can't speak. As he puts his phone away and says, and Kaminari just says, "Alright, I'm sorry for accusing you of such things." Then the teacher says, "Alright, group A, move to the physical examination slash, well, test, as they'll make it out to a training field alpha." The tests were similar. The test was getting ready to be set up as everybody is lining up, waiting for their opportunity to try and prove themselves with their quirk. Everybody is stretching and bit, and Deku was just standing there waiting for the timer to buzz so he can get this thing over and done with, because this is the part of the exam he didn't exactly want to do, because whatever he could say by accident might harm somebody. So less speaking means less of a headache for him. As he just takes a swig of cough medicine to make sure that he can last throughout the entire practical portion. As the bully head boy comes up to him and says, "Are you getting high on cough syrup? That's illegal. It makes you dumber as well. What are you doing? Making poor decisions already in life?" As Zuko is mad and types on his phone, "I have a sore throat right now, and I can't even use my voice for my quirk. So if you wouldn't mind, please go away before I make you sit back down." "So it was you that made me sit back down?" "Yes, I said sit, and I was looking at you, so you sat uncontrollably. So, unless you want that to happen again, please just leave me alone." Says, using quirks on other people is not very becoming of a hero without their permission. As, well, then he says, "But I'll respect your wishes, and because I need to focus on my own exam at the moment." As, well, as he walks, Ito walks away, and a sigh of relief leaves his mouth as he just thinks to himself, finally, that man left. As President Mike is explaining the rules and saying that there should be no foul play, collect as many points you can in the time frame, and as he gets ready for everybody to start off, as he says, "Alright, ready, set," as the gates open, as he goes, "Well, what are you waiting for? There's no timer in a hero battle. Go!" Everybody starts rushing at the gates as Zuko was looking for a place that wasn't full of everybody else. Well, filled by other students and everybody else around him. Then he goes into the middle of the city, running quite far in. So, are the people just thinking, is he trying not to score points? Why is he running away from the robots? They're all right here. As he looks into the city, as he sees another wave coming for him, as he just pulls down his mask and goes, "Scream!" A loud sonic boom can be heard from a kilometer away, as a loud vortex of sound and pressure start releasing from his mouth, echoing down, shattering the glass in the buildings, cracking some of the stone next to him, as the robots just blow up from the sheer force and magnitude of the frequency coming at them. Even if it didn't affect their metal bodies, the circuitry inside of them was going haywire. It exploded from the inside, and in one fell swoop, he easily destroyed about 40 or so robots. people just like, wait, has he got a voice-based quirk? Like Present Mike? What the hell? As he just well, Izuku starts coughing from this one. As he takes another, swig of cough syrup and thinks to himself, I hate using that one. But it's the only one that's effective against large groups. As then he goes over to some smaller robots and says, crush, tear, rip. As the robots that he said, some get crushed, some get torn in half, and some get ripped out from the seams, breaking them. It destroys quite a few more robots, as his voice was quite croaky from this. As he takes his last sip from the bottle he has, as he thinks, I've only got about one full sentence left in me before my voice gives out. As he feels rumbling, and he hears a cry for help. As a few people are about to get crushed by this giant robot coming towards them, as debris was flying everywhere, and it caught some people off guard, trapping them. As he just thinks, shit. Well, looks like I gotta do what I have to do. He pulls his mask down in anticipation as he says, stop. Crumble away and annihilate! As an intense gravitational field starts slamming down the robot where it stood, crushing it slowly down into the ground, as then it explodes, but the gravitational field contains the explosion, pushing it down on itself until it was nothing but vapor and dust. He combined his words, however, he started coughing up blood doing so. Salmon. As people around him were just in awe at what happened, but started rushing over to help him as he started coughing up blood. As, the exam was, deemed as being over. As, Recovery Girl started rushing out, saying that he was, after the examination, and saw that he was coughing up blood, so she went directly over to him. And then, gave him a kiss that healed his wounds, quite dramatically. As, Deku just coughed, but said, Summoner. Then he reaches into his pocket and grabs out his phone and says, thanks for healing me. No worries, young man. However, that quirk takes quite a toll on your body, doesn't it? Yeah, the more I use it, it takes my stamina out of me, but it also irritates my throat. If I overuse it by using more powerful commands, it causes my throat to start to bleed, and I cough up blood in the process. As he puts the phone away and slips back into his pocket. Ah, I see. Well, thank you for saving the students. Well, I hope you did very well in your examination. As, Izuku just nods, Salmon, and then waves and then walks off. As everybody is just stunned at this kid. His power is insane. He just completely vaporized that entire robot with a single sentence. As then he walks out and starts coughing a bit and just thinks, and he gets more cough syrup. It might be healed, but it's still irritated. As he just goes up to the desk, and says, and types it into his phone and plays out loud. Excuse me, where's the nearest pharmacy? Right down the road to to the left for about 50 meters. Well, as he just bows and then walks out. Did he hurt himself, or has he got a headache? Anyway, doesn't matter. As then they exit out as Buck goes caught up to Deku as he was walking down to the pharmacy and says, "Yo, leave him without me." As he says, "Salmon, salmon, salmon, mustard leaf, bonito flakes." Oh shit, really? Wait, so you're saying you destroyed that entire robot? Well, it doesn't surprise me anyway. Your quirk is powerful, but it has that intense drawback. I didn't so I'm guessing because we need to go to the pharmacy, you need to get cough medicine. As as he shows Bucker the empty bottle, it's like, I'm right. So, come on, let's go get it. As the two walk down to the pharmacy, pick up the cough medicine, and then they both head home together, catching the train, and then parting ways at the station, and each heading home respectively. Well, Izuku just lays there in his bed, rubbing his throat, seeing as it's still sore. And, his mother walks in. "Honey, you haven't been talking today. Is everything alright?" As he says, salmon mustard leaf, tuna mayo. "Oh, you're not speaking because your throat's sore. What have I told you about overusing your quirk? It's quite dangerous." Salmon, salmon. Tuna. No, well, at least you went good in your exam. From what Mitsuki told me, from what she had from Bakugo. I'm quite proud of you. And, yeah, see, time fixes everything. As, Izuku just lies down and thinks to himself. And this is where I'm going to leave part 2 to What If Deku Was Toge Inumaki off. As, sorry for this if this part is a bit shorter than the rest of them, than the other one. It's just, I don't like to force a longer part than leave off the cliffhanger. But definitely, I want to also get another part done today, so, when I say part, I mean, what if Deku had Pokemon Part 2, which is my favourite series that I'm doing so far. Not saying I don't like Hisoka or, Toge, or even Senku, that is. It's just, I really love Pokemon, so it kind of gives me more of a passion too. But yeah, I thank everybody for watching this video, and I hope everybody loves it. Alright, ciao now.